Hello, Hoop Group. How are you today? I am Eve with the and I just pressed the wrong button. But at any rate, I'm here. Sorry about that glitch. Hi, how is everyone this evening? I am scatterbrained right now, so please, my sincerest apologies. Hello, Afro-Colombian. How are you? Leah, Ebony, you were ready early tonight. Well, hello. Hi, Debbie Kid. All right, let's go up in the chat. I'm going to have to pull up my chat from another source to make sure that we have everything good and squared away for tonight, because tonight is kind of a heavy question night. I've been getting this question a lot lately, so I want to make sure that we answer this question tonight. All right, so I'm going to start out with Miss Patio. Hello, how are you? Carol Coleman. Sheila Cushionberry missed her fix last week. Well, welcome to the show this week, as always, Miss Sheila Cushionberry. Ebony Holmes, Eddie Jr., Miss Ethel Smith, Sheila Chan, hello, how are you? Sparkle Dumpster, hello, haven't seen your name here, so thank you for joining us this evening here at the Baby's Booty channel. Robin Bryant, hi, how are you this evening? Sheila Chan is saying plus minus plus. There was a lot going on tonight. Carol Coleman says hello, good evening all. Leah, hello, how are you? Marilyn Ray, Shonda Coleman, Miss Afro-Colombian is in the house tonight. Hope everything is going okay your way, my dear. Ebony Holmes, River City Creative, Debbie Kidd, Marilyn Ray, Debbie Bond. Haven't seen your name before. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Stephanie Jones says hashtag Hoop Group, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tracy LeGross, I need to get back to it. Vacation time was nice, but glad to be home. Hey, everyone. Well, hello to you as well. I want to be hi. Love you too. Thank you for joining me this evening. I don't remember seeing your name, so thank you for joining us. Leah says, hey, Eve and everybody. Hello. Tracy Hubbard, Haddad, sorry. First time watching you live. You're correct. Haven't seen your name. You're wonderful. Well, thank you. I appreciate you joining us this evening as well. And thank you for letting me know that the channel has been helpful to you. I really appreciate that. Debbie D. Hey, Debbie D. Kat Dennis. Hi, happy to be here. And this is your biggest question, that 4x4? Yes, we're going to go bigger tonight. Sylvia says, good evening. Just wanted to say I just love you and have learned so much. Thank you. I haven't seen your name, so thank you for joining us live tonight. So Crafty says, hi, hello back to you, girl. Donna Stacy, Tina McMurray. Hello, both of you. Welcome to our channel. I appreciate you being here. Sheila Chan, sorry you dropped your keyboard. Okay, I was thinking maybe it was you or the cat. Wasn't sure, but it's no worries. Thank you. Pearl Lucas, Gloria Spivey, glad to catch us. Well, thank you. I'm glad you caught us live too. We appreciate you joining in. And please, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them in the chat below tonight. Lupe Ruiz, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining us this evening. Miss Debbie Bond says she's been watching for a while, just quietly absorbing everything. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's okay to be a passive viewer, just sitting back and enjoying the show. We appreciate that as well. But we love it when you interact too, okay? That makes everything fun. Barbara Nance, hello, Miss Barbara Nance. How are you this evening? I hope everything is well with you. Latasha says, good evening, BB family. Well, good evening to you too. You are a huge part of the Baby's Booty family. Thank you. Sonia Julian says, hi from Nowlands. Love your videos. Well, hello, Sonia. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate you being here from Nowlands as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. Dewana Smith says, hello, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. How are you this evening? I had a lovely past 24 hours, so I'm coming down from that a little bit. I had a lot of fun with some really good friends that visited from New York, so I am doing really well. Oh, thank you, Miss Barbara Nance. I appreciate that. She says everything is good there. I'm glad to hear that. look and sound very happy and well. I am. Thank you very, very much. And good evening to you too, Miss Latasha. I wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate you being here and joining us live this evening. If you don't mind, take a moment and hit the like button if you normally enjoy our videos, or if you don't like the video after it's all said and done, you can do a thumbs down too. It's all right. And that lets YouTube and me know what type job I'm doing for this channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And also, if you haven't subscribed before, please take a moment to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And for some reason, my babiesbooty.com isn't showing up down below. So if you would like to join the hoop group, you can do so at thebabiesbooty.com, and that is in the description below. So I apologize for it not being on the screen and easy for you all to see. So everyone, I appreciate you being here with me this evening. Miss Nancy Faust says hello from Iowa. Let me turn this down. Why is this turned up? And Miss Queen Thompson, well, welcome. Yes, haven't seen your name before, so thank you for joining us new to the channel this evening. I appreciate you being here. So hopefully everyone has had a good week since the last time we were here live, and I've been given a lot of thought to what we will be doing on live this week. I had mentioned, I believe last week, it may have been the week before, that I had a new piece of equipment that I was going to show on live, but I still haven't gotten all the parts to it yet. Mainly because I'm still doing research and want to make sure that when I do bring it to show you guys, that for the most part, I can explain everything that is involved with it, how it works, and possibly a sample of what I've done with it. And let you guys see that as well. Thank you, Miss Leah. She says you're always doing a great job with your videos. So much information in each of your videos and lives. Thanks. And I appreciate that. I have been a little slack with the pre-recorded videos. And my daughter is joining us in here this evening. I hate I only got to see you for all of 5 minutes today, but I was glad to see you, Miss Tokyo. Diana Henderson, good evening to you. Oh, cool. Miss Patty O got Sew Art on Friday to officially start her embroidery journey. Well, yes, ma'am. Sew Art is a big step to take, and it is a lot of fun once you get into it. Please make sure you check out Miss Clever Dog Designs tutorials. She does a fantastic job with Sew Art, and she also has a group that you can join on Facebook if you need to. But her YouTube channel is very informative, and she teaches Sew Art very well. As a matter of fact, she will be one of the instructors on the Custom Craft Cruise. All right. So for those of you new in here who may not be familiar, we do have a cruise coming up in May of next year. I wanted to give everyone a good stretch of time to be able to save up for it. And find one that was affordable. It's kind of short. It's a short cruise. It's only 4 nights, but it is solely to focus on our custom crafts that we do, which is why it's called the Custom Craft Cruise. Okay, so the Custom Craft Cruise is going to have instructors on there. We have a brother scan and cut instructor. All right, we have a vinyl instructor. We have a silhouette instructor. Okay. And they are going to instruct you on how you can use those in your embroidery business and add to your business. I will be teaching Sew What Pro on the ship, possibly even teaching Cricut at this point, and Bling. We will be adding Bling to the roster on the ship to show you how you possibly can add Bling to your business if you're interested. All right, we also have Designs by Little B is going to be an instructor there, and she is going to teach Embrilliance on the ship as well. We also have I just mentioned Miss Clever Dog Creations. Stephanie is going to be teaching Sew Art, and we're also trying to make sure we can get our screen printer on board. And we're also trying to make sure that we can get our let's see, screen printer, possibly soap making. Well, no, soap making is supposed to be there, but we need to make sure that that's confirmed. And for right now, oh, and business, Miss Afro Colombian is going to be there with Miss J Black and Company. J Black and Company is going to be on there teaching you business essentials and how to get your business streamlined and running efficiently, and what all you need to do to make sure that everything harmonizes and run like a well-oiled machine. So we're really excited about this cruise. Okay, I wanted to add quilting, and possibly we can still add quilting. There's a specific person in here, I'm not gonna name no names, that I need to get in touch with about that. But we're looking at possibly bringing on quilting. The thing is, I have so many folks offering classes at this point that we're not sure we'll be able to have time for all of the classes, because it's only a 4-night cruise. Okay, so $150 is the deposit to get your room reserved. Okay, you can put down, for now until May 4th, you can put down a $25 deposit, and that $25 deposit will hold your rate for you. Okay, but $150 is what actually holds your room in a specific place on the ship. So what they're trying to do is get all of us to stay around about in the same area of the ship so that we can hang out and have a good time together. So if you want to be in that specific part of the ship where I will be, then you want to make sure that you do the $150 deposit to hold your space. Okay. After that, then your next deposit is not due until March of next year. So all kinds of exciting things going on. You can find out more about that cruise at customcraftcruise.com. All right, and I will definitely put that in the chat below. And the cruise is going from Florida, I just drew a blank, y'all. That's the kind of day I've been having. It's just been so busy. My brain is hearing port and it's saying Fort Lauderdale, but that's not correct. But we're going to Bahamas. So it was port, y'all, I am losing it. What is the port that we Okay, and that's something else we're going to talk about tonight too. But for the time being, hang on. Let me put this in the chat below real quick. There we go. Customcraftcruise.com. Okay, that's that. So that we can make sure non-crafting hubbies are staying. The non-crafting hubbies, or the non-crafting folks that are going to be on the ship, they can stay in, like if your husband is with you, he can stay in the room with you, chill out, do whatever he wants to do, because it is a legitimate cruise on Canaveral. Okay, so it's a full-fledged cruise. We only have one little section of rooms on this ship. Okay, so the rest of the ship is going to be filled with regular folks. So there will be a ton for non-crafters to do. The first day, let's see, when we board the ship, we sail out to sea starting at 4 p.m. And then in the Bahamas, we arrive in the Bahamas 10 a.m. the next morning. And we'll port in Bahamas from 10 till I think it was 5 p.m. All right, and then the next day, the next day we will be at the Cay, the private island. For Carnival Cruise Lines, they have a private island, and we will port there all day. All right. Then the next day we will spend all day long at sea. Okay, so the day that we will spend all day long at sea is the day that we're really looking at focusing on putting all the classes on that day. The reason being, and I don't want to take too much time from you guys from the focus of the video today, but the reason for that is because for those who may not have been to the Bahamas before, we don't want to take away from any shore excursions or any visits you may want to have to shore, and to put a class on that day. I don't know. We were going to feel you guys out on that and see if that's okay to pick a day when folks will be able to go ashore. All right. And I know the private island day, I want to be on the private island. I want to go hang out on the island just a little bit at least. So I know I don't want to have a class myself that day. So that's why we're looking at doing it the day that we're out to sea. But the problem with that is that's only one day, right? So if each class, to give you value for your class time, each class probably be about 2 to 3 hours, if that. It may not be that long, but we're trying to give you value and get some good information and let you have fun. For those with the paid classes, it'll be hands-on and you take stuff home with you after you make it and all that cool stuff. So we don't want to rush you through that process. All right. So you're filling out time, three classes, 5 classes for 3 hours. That's 15 hours. That's way more than the time we have in one day. So we're trying to get all of that straightened out and make sure of what folks are willing to have fun doing, and we'll go from there. So there's a lot that will definitely be rolling out. Please check out Custom Craft Cruise. There will be an update on that website. Also, the newsletter that goes out, I update the newsletter, I update the website, and I also update the Facebook page all at the same time. And we are also on Instagram now too. So this is the 13th element. This craft cruise is going to be May 18th, 2020. All right, so May of next year. So you have over a year now to prepare for this cruise. Super, super, super excited. All right, Patrick, I hope the volume isn't too terribly low. I have it turned all the way up on my computer and don't really want to blast folks out, but I will definitely look into that for the next show and make sure everything is turned up. Hello, Deborah Little. Miss Queen Thompson says you're a quilter. Yes, you spelled it like they did back in the 1700s before the Americans changed it to quilt in the 1900s. I also have done a small charity you started for battered women's shelter that you donate your quilts to. Well, thank you. They're called Cuddle Quilts. It's called Happy Quilts, and that's awesome. I know they definitely appreciate that, and I am a huge, huge supporter of the battered women's shelter. I always have been since I've been old enough to work and pick where my donations go to. So that is awesome to hear about that. Sorry, Patrick, I'm gonna try and speak a little bit louder to see if that'll help you out some. Gwendolyn Thomas, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Sheila Cushionberry says lots of classes to pick from because you make jewelry soap and do embroidery and newly picked up Cricut when not enough time in the day for any more hobbies. And that was the other thing that I personally wanted to mention, but we're going to save that to more towards the end of the show because there's something that a little bit personal that we'll be getting into for myself anyway, to let you guys know what's been going on behind the scenes here and how that's affected me, and to let you know what to expect going forward from the Baby's Booty channel. Victor Freeman, hello, thank you for joining us. I'm glad I found you. My sister just bought me a Brother SE625 and it's a little intimidating, so I'm going to need all the information I can get. That's awesome. We definitely support the 4x4 machines here on this channel. We absolutely love them because that's where I started. Miss Queen Thompson says how much for the whole thing per person. So I go through a booking agent who was able to get a really good deal on these tickets for us. The least expensive cabin, which is an interior cabin, it is double occupancy. All right, so this is per person, was roughly $460 something, so $470 roughly. And that is contingent upon 2 people being in the cabin. Okay, so if you're a person that's going to sail by yourself, then you will need to let the booking agent know, hey, I'm going to be sailing by myself for right now. And what we'll do is try and get you arranged to be in a cabin with someone else, because we do have, I know for a fact, one other person who is concerned with having a cabin mate. But if you have a cabin mate, it's all well and good, and the ticket is, like I said, the interior cabin is about $470. But if you sign up on customcraftcruise.com and then it forwards you to the actual booking website, then there it outlines the prices for the other cabins. So yes, it depends on your cabin choice, the cost of your ticket, because there's a balcony ticket charge, That's the little bit more expensive for the balcony. And then there's an upgraded stateroom and however many people you have in a room, because they do have cabins that you can have 4 in. So all of that plays into how much the whole thing is. Which website isn't working? The Custom Craft Cruise? I'll have to check that out. Oh, he typed in CREWS. Tell him I'm sorry. Christy, hello, Christy. How are you? I have family in here showing love tonight. That's what's up. I absolutely love it. Thank you for being here, my love. Joining us from Florida. Ronnie's Raps. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hello, hello. And I love you too, Miss Christy. I'm so glad you're in here. Sheila says, do you know if small kids tickets are the same as adults on the cruise? I do not know, Miss Leah, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Miss Sheila. So what I would do is suggest to you to reach out to Miss Debbie, my booking agent, and let her know that that's a question you have. Matter of fact, I had some questions she answered for me that I wanted to go over with you guys, but I wrote them down, and of course I don't have them on me. I'll check my email and see if I can't pull them up, and we'll do that more towards the end of the show. Reese by Veronica. Hello, hello. How are you? Francesca Delgado. Hopefully I said that correctly. I don't recall seeing your name here. Welcome to our channel. I'm a newbie and watching all your videos. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom with learning to machine embroidery. You're welcome, and thank you for watching the videos and letting me know that they are quite helpful to you. I appreciate that. Adrian Williams asked if I know of any great digitizing programs. I do, actually. So it depends on your price point and what you're trying to spend. Okay, so a lot of your higher end, better digitizing programs are going to run you $1,000 or $2,000. Okay, so the one digitizing program I use primarily is Wilcom Hatch. That's about $1,100, $1,000, $1,000 to $1,100 roughly, depending upon how you pay for it. Okay, so if you make payments, then it'll be about $1,100 to $1,200. But if you pay for it outright, it should be about right at $1,000. Okay, so that's one option. It's called Wilcom Hatch. Another option is Sew Art, and Sew Art is a lot more affordable. It's $75. Okay, it's a much simpler digitizing program, but it can be quite powerful if you use it correctly. And the Clever Dog Designs here on YouTube, she has excellent videos on a lot of the beautiful designs that she's done on Sew Art. So that's another option, and Sew Art can be found at thebabiesbooty.com as well. Adrian, so let me know which route you decide to take. They're both very good programs. Diane Parker says, I think hubby is taking you on the cruise and you're excited. When do we have to lock in the rate by? By May 4th. By the 4th of May, you pay at least the $25, and that locks in your rate, because it will be going up from there. Okay. Contessa says, hello everyone from Louisiana. Hello to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Miss Queen Thompson says that's a good price. Awesome. It's you and your wife. Well, we welcome and hope that you guys join us and have a lot of fun. Miss Social Deb says, hello everyone. What's the date we need to pay the $25? Again, that's May the 4th. Josephine Fry, you haven't missed too much at all, actually. Thank you, Miss Christy. Melanie says, is all this information on the website? This is exciting. It is. I do also have a frequently asked questions section on the website as well that answers a lot more questions in details. Miss Queen says, I've been on a cruise with kids and I believe the price is the same. Will they be in the room with the bed? Basically, if there are no kids and adult, the price is that you believe. And I'm not sure, because I have never sailed with children before. I couldn't afford it because we had 6. So I couldn't sail with all those kids, y'all. I would have been broke as a joke. Deborah Little says, if I book a room for myself and a guest, can you change the guest name if they can't come? Is there a cost to change? You can book a name with your guest, okay, from what I understand, and you should be able to change the name, because the price of your cruise is fully refundable until January the 20th, I believe, 2020. So definitely till January. You have the most of January now until then, that if you decide you can't go on the cruise, you can get your money back. So I'm sure you can change the name all the way up until January. You should be able to, because it's refundable. Glenn F says, hi Eve, happy Sunday, Hoop Group. Hello, hello. How are you, Glenn and Sammy Strunge as well? Exciting to have you all here as always. And Deborah Little also, double check that with Miss Debbie Hannah, because I'm sitting here thinking I'm telling this woman that and I could be lying. I hope not. Ronnie's Raps, does anyone own and can recommend a portable blind stitch hemming machine? The portable, the blind stitch hemming machine that I used to have was commercial, so I would not be able to recommend a portable one. I apologize. Eartha Lewis from Port Allen, Louisiana. Always a pleasure, my dear. Thank you for joining us this evening, along with Bonnie Edmondson from Maryland and Arva McLaurin. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. And Regina Young from Jackson, Mississippi. Awesome. Diane Parker, I want to answer your question. Do we have to bring our own supplies? That is the reason for the cost of the classes. Okay, so there are classes that will be free. Each subject of classes, like I'm going to be doing Sew It Pro. I'm also going to be doing one with Rhinestones. I will have a free class in both of those subjects, but I will also have a class that is not free. The reason for that is because I'm going to have to bring on those supplies, and of course supplies cost. So you're not to bring any supplies with you on the ship, because you will have to deal with customs. And I don't want anyone else to have to struggle with getting your equipment through customs. Okay, so the Cricut class, the Scan and Cut class, the Silhouette class, the Bling class, all of those classes, we are bringing supplies on board for you, as well as trying to compensate the instructors for their time in joining us. So there will be an additional class, and it's going to be very limited. So about 20, maybe 25 people per class with that subject. And there will be a charge for that class. Okay, so Diane Parker, if you're going to be taking the class where there are no supplies, if you're taking a class where it's paid, you don't have to bring supplies, because we're bringing the supplies for you. If you're taking the class that's free, you can bring supplies, but I really don't want you to have to struggle through customs, because from what I understand from someone who has done a craft cruise before, it's a struggle to get this equipment on board through customs. Okay, so I'm gonna have to actually go down a day early, definitely, just for customs, because from what I understand, it's a whole day-long process, unfortunately. So we'll be working towards that. Let's see. Where did we stop? Bonnie Edmondson says, just came on. What are we talking about? Classes and machines. Bonnie Edmondson. This is for the custom craft cruise that is going to take place in May of next year, that we are putting on here at the Baby's Booty. We wanted to have a cruise where folks who are in the custom craft business, embroidery, whether it's doing vinyl, whether it's doing bling, rhinestones, you have a place where you can go and learn more about your subject, or learn about a new subject that you've never delved into to increase your business. So that is what that's for. And hello, Barbara Raymond, Diane Parker. At this point, we don't have a fun pass set up just yet. I'll consider it though, but we don't have that set up just yet. So we're still working on making sure the class schedule lines up with the schedule of the actual cruise ship itself. All right, and I actually have to block off room for the classroom. All right, there's only one from what I understand, and I have to make sure that our class time is in with Carnival, so that no one else can use that classroom during the times that we're supposed to have classes. So this is going to be a heavy ordeal that we're going to be working on over the next couple of days. And Bonnie Edmondson, you can find more about the cruise at customcraftcruise.com, and I will put that in the description again. I'm sorry, in the comments below. All right. So let's get into the meat of the subject of why we're here 30 minutes after the hour and talking about the cruise, which I'm super excited about. But I definitely want to touch on the subject at hand because the majority of the folks that are getting into embroidery have the 4x4 machine. It is an awesome machine. It's a lot of fun. And there is a lot that you can do with that little machine. But one of the main complaints that folks have is that the 4x4 is so small. And that's true. That's true. There's no doubting that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is your standard 4x4 hoop for the SE 625 or the PE 500 or the SE 425 or the SE 400. This is the size hoop that you have. Now, a lot of people mistakenly see this and they think that they have all this area here to do embroidery in. And hello, Maria, how are you? Welcome to our live as always. But I want to let you know, and especially for those who are considering getting into embroidery, and that is the price point of the machine that they can afford, it's okay, because there's a lot you can do with this little hoop. But this entire field is not yours for embroidery. All right, so what field you actually have is a 4x4 area. Okay, and I want to emphasize to you all that 4x4 is not really 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, and I brought a ruler so that I can show you guys exactly what you're dealing with. Okay, so this side up here is inches, and then down here it says that it's millimeters. Now how accurate that is, not 100% sure, but we're going to go with it. All right, so on the inches side, we're going to put this grid up to the inches, and let me make sure that that's lined up where that's supposed to be. Move it over and look at the 4-inch section. Let me see if we can't get that to focus in on you. Do you see how the 4-inch really isn't? It's barely at that 4. There you go. It's barely at the 4 inches. So it's not a true 4 inches on this grid. Okay, so why do they say it's 4 inches? Why do they say it's 4 inches? Anyone who can answer that is free to answer that, but while I put this up to the millimeter side. All right, so here is the millimeter side. Why do they say 4 inches when it really isn't? Because as you, oh, I don't even have it lined up correctly. Hold on, move it over. Because this hoop is actually 100 millimeters. Okay, is it lined up? This ain't even really one that I lined up right. I got it all. You have 100 by 100 millimeters, and that's metric. Okay, we are spoiled folks here in the United States, and we are the only ones that go based on inches. We are the only country that uses inches. All the others use metric, and they use millimeters. Okay, so they know that we don't know really metric system very well, so they just say, you know what, we'll dumb it down for them and put it over to inches, and the closest inch that they'll understand is 4 inches. So that's why they say 4x4. Okay, but what you really have is 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. That is your actual embroidery field. Okay, so what can you do with this 4x4 or 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter? What can you do? Okay, so there's a lot that you actually can do with it. There are tons of 4x4 designs out there. There are a lot of in the hoop designs that you can do with 4x4, but a lot of times new embroiderers look at this and they feel like they just cannot do anything with this. That's entirely too small. I can't, how can I make money off of that? Well, I've mentioned on more than one occasion that I have embroidered logos, shirt logos. This is pretty much big enough for most of your logos that you can embroider on shirts. So you can do polo shirts. You can do heavier t-shirts with a logo on it. This is also perfect for smaller items like baby bibs, or you could easily put a monogram on a towel, hand towel for a kitchen. Any type of those simple designs, you have plenty of room to do. Now I want to show you guys something that this is a design that I absolutely adored. And at one point I wanted to do a baby blanket that had a theme to it. And you see the little piggy in the ballerina suit. I thought it was beyond adorable. Okay, so as you can see, this is well inside the 4x4 or the 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter bracket. Okay, so my question to folks is, if I wanted to do the piggy and the lion, and where is my other animal? Let's grab the kitty cat. If I wanted to do a blanket with all of these animals on it, actually I like the bear. I'm going to get the teddy bear because I like him the best. Him and the lion anyways. And the teddy bear, right? So I want these three on a baby's blanket. And I want her name down here at the bottom. How would I accomplish that with this size hoop? Okay, it's not super difficult, but it will take math. Okay, if all you have is just this 4x4 hoop, it'll take some math for you to be able to do it, because what you will have to do is measure how far apart you want each one of these designs to be, measure the distance that you want it to be up and down and all that jazz. Then you have to measure where you want the name, how long the name is, and then you have to move this hoop into the sections that you've marked off. All right, so I want folks to know that there is a solution, and some of you do know that there's a solution, but there's still seemingly a hang up about the solution, and we really need to talk about that solution. Okay, so I've told many of you guys about the repositional hoop, and this is the repositional hoop. Okay, it is found on Amazon, and I believe Brother now sells it as well on their website. Okay, but it is very affordable on Amazon. I did post a link to this particular hoop in the description below. It's an affiliate link for Amazon, but the affiliate link shows that this is $18 and some change. Okay, so this is a repositional hoop. Now the repositional hoop has a much larger embroidery field. Okay, so you're able to go way bigger than 4 inches or 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. Okay, so what this essentially breaks down to is you're able to take this hoop, which normally has only 2 nodules. As you see here, there's only 2 nodules right there. I'm trying to hold it where you can, there they are. The nodules hanging down, there's only 2 to click in place. Well, now you have 4 that you can click in place. So these 2 are one place on the machine. This one is the second place on the machine, and this one is the third place on the embroidery machine. So it allows you to move your item that's hooped in here, move it side to side without taking it out of the hoop. Okay, so how does that work? Because this definitely isn't 8 inches, okay, or 12 for that matter, because you're thinking if you move the hoop, you should be able to get 3 4x4s out of this. Well, no, not quite, because you still have to take into consideration the embroidery machine itself and its limitations. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit in detail, and let me make sure we don't have any questions. Let's see. Miss Eartha Lewis went to Anita Good Design University. It was a 2-day seminar and you learned a lot. That is awesome. The best thing of all is I was able to purchase a new embroidery machine. Well, you know, Miss Eartha Lewis, what that means. So please make sure you let me know what that machine is by the end of the show so that we can get your bell ring. All right. Sheila Chan, the past you've done tea towels. A friend gave you a a repositional hoop, I'm hoping, or something of that magnitude. Oh, Eartha Lewis, you did tell me what it was. You got a Brother Dream Maker VE 2200. It has a 7x12 sewing field. You're naming her Joy because she's a joy to embroider on. So everyone, please help me welcome Miss Joy to the Baby's Booty family. Miss Eartha Lewis got a new baby. So for those of you whose sound is turned way up, the bell is very loud. So we're going to ring the bell. Congratulations to you, Miss Eartha Lewis. Congratulations on your new baby. I apologize for not seeing that earlier. And please be sure to show your new projects in the Hoop group. We look forward to it. Hi, Will. Thank you for joining in. And Latasha, yes, I thought these designs were super adorable, actually. And I have even more animals. There's a frog, there's a kitty, all in the ballerina outfits. So I'm looking forward to that. Are there fonts digitized just for towels? No, not necessarily. I know the embossed designs generally are for towels or anything with a pile, but not necessarily just for towels. So not that I'm aware of, but you want to find a font that's thicker. So with thicker lines, not the really thin line fonts. Those are the ones that work great for towels. Okay. Aisha Graham, I'm glad you did not miss it. Uh-oh, Deborah Little, please be careful. We don't want any issues with tornadoes. And please let me know how you're doing. Hopefully you'll be okay by the end of the show to pop back in and let us know that the warning has passed. So let's get back to our size and our area for embroidery. Now this, it's kind of hard to see those lines, so I replicated it. Okay, so this is your actual embroidery field on the repositional hoop. Okay, and this one right here in this middle part, these 4 squares are, this is 2 inches and this is 2 inches roughly. So this is our 4x4 section right here. So this is 100 millimeters from here to here. But over here is 35 millimeters and this is 35 millimeters. Okay, so you're looking at a total combined of 170 millimeters extra space that you have side to side. Well, not extra, but 35 and 35. So 70 extra millimeters to use for embroidery. So let me show you how you possibly could make this work with the repositional hoop. Okay, so first of all, the piggy is not all the way at the top. Okay, so one thing you could do is bump her up a little bit, and that leaves you just a little bit of room down here to possibly put a name. So they do have this particular design. This is the 4-inch design. They do have one that's 3.5 and one that's 3 inches. So you could go smaller with the animals to make sure that you can fit the name down below, because as you see, the repositional hoop, although it's a little bit bigger, unfortunately some folks tend to make out that your 4x4 hoop, if you buy the repositional hoop, it turns into a 5x7 hoop, and it doesn't. Okay, so this is your 4x4 hoop. You can only go 4 inches. Okay, this way you can only go 4 inches on your embroidery machine. It's not going to work. So in order for you to get a longer design, you would have to turn it sideways and then put something up under here. Okay, so that's how you would make that work, but you're still limited to this way 4 inches. All right, but back to this particular design, in order to combine the animals, you possibly, and I'm gonna see if I have room, and that's barely, you could make it like they're holding hands or something, but you can put the piggy in the middle. All right, and then in the program Sew What Pro, or you can do this manually by loading each design separately into the embroidery machine and then moving your hoop. But it's easier to do if you're using Sew What Pro, and you can break it up naturally in Sew What Pro. But here's one animal. Then after you do that, the other one would be here, and as you see, their little hands would overlap a little bit, and it's hard to show that because of where we are. So I'm gonna try and fold that and see if this works a little bit. All right, so you can put the designs side by side that way, And see how the lion kind of like barely fits, but you can make her fit. And then do the exact same with the bear on the other side. So you can use this, keep from unhooping your baby blanket, for instance, and continue to embroider all three of these designs that you would ordinarily not be able to embroider without unhooping your fabric with the 4x4. Okay, so this is available right now on Amazon, as I mentioned, or you can go to Brother and purchase a repositional hoop. There is also another version available for the PE770, the PE800, the larger 5x7 machine, and you can use it the exact same way. But the thing you have to remember is you are limited this way with your size. So just because you have a repositional hoop that this one is like 6.5 inches or something to that effect, let's see. So this basically takes us to not quite 7 inches. Okay. So wrong way. See, it's not quite 7 inches down here and it's upside down. I apologize. But you will not be able to do a 5x7 design with this unless the 5x7 design is actually less. It's 4 inches, but it's long to get kind of close to 7 inches, but it's bigger than 4x4, so it won't fit in 4x4, but it might fit in this. So you have to check your measurements when you are looking for designs online. All right, so can I show on the machine how to do it? I do have a video already that shows how to break up an embroidery design this exact same way. Unfortunately, I'm not set up in the studio at this moment to move the camera and the design in there and fabric hooped and stuff to show that tonight. I apologize. But I will be doing an updated video on it because it's still kind of confusing to some people on how to get that to work, especially when it comes to actual 3 designs. Now, one of the easiest things that the repositional hoop does is to put a design and then put letters up under the design because it's easy to move the hoop for that. But when it comes to, you know, actual designs, they kind of don't understand how to piece it together, especially manually. Pearl Lucas, you can rotate the design manually on the embroidery machine as well as in Sew It Pro and save it and send it to your embroidery machine. And the cool thing about Sew It Pro is it has the repositional hoop built into the program, so you don't have to guess on where those lines are, those cutoff lines are for your design when you're uploading it to be used in the repositional hoop. So that's really cool as well. All right, so let me go here and make sure that I'm not. Can you split a design in Sew It Pro? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And it's very easy to do. And the same video that I'm referencing to Miss, where did it go? Miss Bonnie, the same video I'm referencing for her, it also has instructions on how to break up a design as well. Okay. Maria says she usually rolls up the end of the towel that she's not working on and clip it with clothespins so that it won't drag. I pin the other part inside of the hoop on the inner edge. Now, I know with the 4x4 machine, sometimes you have to be careful for the pins catching the clothespins, or I use squeezy brackets that I get from Dollar Tree, and sometimes those get caught, so you have to be careful because it can knock off your design if that clip gets caught on the machine somewhere. So please, when you clip your stuff, make sure you're paying attention to that as well as your machine is embroidering. And I know that's a lot to deal with when you are trying to focus and paying attention to your embroidery, and now all of a sudden you got to pay attention to your clips as well. Let us see here. Debbie Bond says it works best with software, and that is correct. In Sew It Pro, it will split designs for you, and then you just move your hoop up after each section sews. And that sounds like a happy repositional hoop user right there, and I'm glad you are here to testify to show that it does work. Okay, it is a lot of fun. Now it's a learning curve, but once you learn, it's a lot of fun to use the repositional hoop. But I definitely wanted to come on today to demystify the fact that you're completely stuck with 4x4. You're not. There's an option out there. But if you did use the 4x4, you're still not stuck. There's a lot of things that you can do with this 4x4. And if you measure well, you can actually move this. You can mark where you want things to be on your item, and you can make a bigger area with this 4x4 hoop. The problem that most folks want is to do one whole solid design, like for instance blowing this up to much bigger, and then you want to, you know, stitch this out, say instead of it being, because this is roughly 3.5 inches maybe big, or more like 3 inches, and you want to stitch this out at 5 inches. Okay, I get that, but unless you're using the repositional hoop and you break it up and stitch it out after overlapping it in a program like Sew What Pro, you have to have a program in order to cut it and then let it stitch out separately. Unless you have a program to do that, you're not going to be able to. Okay, and Sew What Pro is an excellent program to get you to cutting designs, splitting them rather, and then you can just move the hoop and stitch out a solid design in its entirety. All right. Let us see. If you buy Sew Art, Patrick says, do I necessarily need Sew What Pro? Okay, so Sew Art and Sew What Pro are two totally different programs. Sew Art is for digitizing only. So if you don't intend to add or take away or make any changes to a design that you've digitized, then you don't necessarily have to have Sew What Pro. Sew What Pro, however, is an editing program. You don't have to have digitizing software to work with Sew What Pro. Sew What Pro pretty much takes designs that are already out there, and you can combine designs, you can delete parts of designs, you can add some flair, whether it be wording or a name, to designs very easily in Sew What Pro, and you don't have to have Sew Art. But if you buy Sew Art and you want to do some editing to designs, then yeah, you'll need both of them, because you can't do all that type editing in Sew Art. Okay, so you will need to have it with, if you want to do both functions, digitizing and editing. Alrighty. You cannot use the 4x4 repositional hoop with the 770. And if you purchase the 770 package, because I have that linked in the description below, it comes with the 5x7 repositional hoop, an extra 4x4 hoop, not a 4x4 repositional hoop, and another smaller hoop, if I'm not mistaken. So it comes with hoops, but it doesn't come with a repositional hoop because it has its own type of repositional hoop for the 770. So you wouldn't want to do a 4x4 repositional with the 770 anyway, because I mean, you have a 5x7 hoop that works really well for what you need, but it does have its own 5x7 repositional hoop in that package. Okay, Marge Campbell, hello to you as well. Coletta Daly, she says hello from Dallas, Texas. Just started embroidery journey in December and already upgraded from a PE 500 to an NQ 1600E. Discovered In the Hoop projects recently. Can you tell us if you can use those for In the Hoop projects? Thanks in advance. Now, I will tell you that, and you said you already upgraded. So one thing's for certain, you saw a restriction with the 4x4, and that's completely understandable. And I'm glad you were able to upgrade. There's a lot of folks that can't. But you cannot, in most instances, you cannot do an In the Hoop project with the repositional hoop, unfortunately. So no, generally with the repositional hoop, it needs to continuously stitch. So the repositional part just isn't effective with the In the Hoop projects. So that's kind of a bummer. That one is definitely a limitation. Tracy Jones says hello. She's been watching on TV, so she cannot chat. Well, we're glad that you've been here anyway, Miss Tracy Jones. Thank you for taking the moment to let us know that you're in here watching on with us. We always love having you here. Sheila Cushionberry says she was disappointed to find out that your PE 400 4x4 hoop won't work in your 800 5x7. Yeah, and they definitely make these machines. I mean, it's a different level of a model. So the 5x7 is different from the 4x4. So they kind of make it where it won't mix and match, unfortunately. But it definitely can be still used with the 5x7 repositional hoop on the 5x7 machine, and not the 4x4 repositional stuff. You can't use it over there. Sullivan Homesteader says hello, how are you? And I hope everything's going well in the studios on your end. Thank you for being in here. She said, Tracy Jones says she jumped on her phone to say hello. Well, thank you. We appreciate hearing from you as always. Sheila Cushionberry says 4x4 has pins on the hoop and 5x7 has slots on the hoop. So need to order a repositional hoop and a smaller 4x4 so I don't have to break out my small machine for smaller designs. And that's why I was saying with the package that comes with the 5x7, because when I went on to Amazon to look for the 5x7 repositional hoop, because I did have it in my Amazon Baby's Booty purchase store, I could not find just the 5x7 repositional hoop by itself. Okay, so when you find it in that list that's in the description below, it's a package and it comes with more than one hoop. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull that up so that we can see what that looks like. And I'll show it to you on my phone. And I could do the phone capture, but that's a lot of drama when all I can do is show it to you here. So it comes with 4 hoops and the cost is $44.99, so $45. And it comes with 4 hoops here. Okay, so one of them is the repositional hoop for the 5x7, which is this one, and it ends up being something like 5 by right at 12 inches is the repositional hoop there. And this is the regular 5x7 embroidery hoop. So it's cool. You already have a 5x7 hoop, a 4x4 hoop, and I'm not sure, Will, does it come, do the 770 come with this small hoop? I'm not sure. But you definitely get an extra 5x7 hoop and an extra 4x4 hoop for your studio if you purchase this package. So once you have, like, say for instance, you're working on a 5x7 project and you're doing duplicates of something, say maybe shirts. Well, you can have one shirt hooped and on the machine and working and running, and then with this package you'll have an extra 5x7 hoop to go ahead and stage the next shirt and have it ready and waiting with the stabilizer and everything, so that when that first one finishes, all you do is pop that second one on, take the first one off, take that out the hoop, and then set the next shirt in place. So it's really cool when you have an extra hoop handy for your embroidery, large embroidery projects, actually. So that's a good plus to ordering this package, to have those extra hoops. And then it also comes with this 2x2 size embroidery field hoop. So you have all of this that comes in that package. I couldn't find this by itself. I can't remember if I had come across that one by itself before. But this set will not fit the 4x4 machine, and the 4x4 set won't fit the 5x7 machine. So that is the reason why you have to be sure to pay attention when you're purchasing and know what you're actually getting. So the 770 has a completely different hoop set. And let's pull up the 4x4 hoop set and I'll show you that one. The 4x4 hoop set is $30, $29.99, and it comes with 3 hoops, not 4. So you get the 4x4 repositional hoop. You get an extra 4x4 hoop. Okay, so again, same principle. You can stage the next item while the first one is stitching out, and then you get this smaller hoop in the upper right. But the 4x4, you also can purchase that by itself. Okay, so instead of paying $30, you can pay $20 and just get this one. But you know, for an extra, what was that, $10, you get 2 more hoops. Okay, so it's up to you. Both links are in the description below, for whatever choice you decide to make. All right. Sheila Cushionberry. Wait a minute. Whoop. I done went completely different. Thanks for explaining all about the hoops. It helps you a lot. I am glad that is very helpful. Thank you. Marge Campbell says you got a Simplicity embroidery machine by Brother, and your SE270D hoops won't work. I'm not paying $60 for a hoop. Machine costs hubby $2.50. I'm not mad. That's understandable. One of the things that I am a huge proponent for is using money wisely and saving your money and doing what works best for your budget. Okay, because one of the things that I have learned in this journey of teaching on YouTube and meeting different people who are on YouTube and viewers reaching out to me with your letters or your emails, which I definitely appreciate and value very much. Your personal stories and things about you, I definitely love hearing from you. And one of the common things is a lot of us are on a budget, okay? Whether it be retirement, whether it be disability, and you're crafting to make a little extra money. Now, there are some out there who are viewers that they don't have that issue. There's a whole lot more folks that do have that issue, right? So my thing is to tell people, I know you may feel restricted by this, but the actual restriction isn't here. The restriction is your budget, okay? So if your budget can't allow for a 770, and I'm only saying this because I've been there, okay? This just 3 years ago, I wanted a bigger machine, but I had to figure some other kind of way to go bigger than this 4x4, and that's where I come across the repositional hoop, and it changed the game for me back then, okay? But for a few months, this is what I had, and I had to make the best of it. And even after getting the repositional hoop, I had that for a good another year and a half before blessing came into my life. So it's like you have to go with what your budget will allow you to have, and don't be ashamed of that. Just work with what you got and let that make some extra money for you to get bigger when you're able to, okay? And don't ever feel down or stressed or frustrated. You got to make the best out of your situations, folks, and I definitely want to encourage that, which is why I love featuring 4x4 designs on this channel. As a matter of fact, what I need to do is a project using a repositional hoop so that we can see what that looks like in action. And so I'll have to make plans for that, which brings me into the personal aspect of the show. So for those of you who are here because you wanted to join in and you know, just see what information on the 4x4 hoop is, that's what I got for you folks today, and I appreciate you being here. But for those of you who don't mind, just a little bit of personal insight, I wanted to go into something and let you all know a little bit more, because I don't generally go too terribly personal when I'm on the channel. I do have a couple of videos out there to let you all know that I have my own personal struggles, and I definitely do. One of them is dealing with a chronic condition called fibromyalgia. There's a lot of y'all out there that have fibromyalgia. Oh my God, when I mentioned it, so many folks reached out and, you know, showed support or gave information that they're going through the exact same thing. And that was amazing, because it's always a positive to have a support base where it's like, oh my God, you deal with that too. You understand me. You get me. I love you for that. You know, it's funny because I went and met with another friend slash viewer just this week, actually last week, or this weekend rather, Saturday. I met with her Saturday, and she was having some fibromyalgia issues, and I was too. So at any rate, one of the downsides to having fibromyalgia, unfortunately, is memory issues. So I want to emphasize to you guys that there may be times where it's like, oh my gosh, she didn't respond, or you may have asked for some information and I haven't gotten it right back to you. Please be patient. I apologize. I have horrible memory issues. It's so bad that there are times where I'm like, okay, I need to shoot off this email, or I need to drop that package in the mail, and I say it, and no less, I kid you not, 30 minutes later, I've completely forgotten because I wasn't able to go do it right then. Here it is 2 days later, and I still haven't done it. So that's a big, 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 big problem. So I definitely want to, let you guys know that is something that I suffer with and deal with. And it's difficult when you have a business and you're dealing with something like this, and you're like, oh my God, did I mail out those packages? Or, oh my God, did I fill that order? And my friend, if she's still in here, Afro-Colombian, Jalil, she was a business mentor for me, and she helped me figure out some stuff that I needed to do and write down. And sometimes I even forget to stick to that. So yeah, it's been interesting. And another issue that I have, which I try really, 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 really hard, really hard not to show you guys that side of me. Another issue that I have is slightly introverted. Okay, so there are times where you may not hear from me in the hoop group. I may not post anything, or I may not update things like I probably should, or I don't get videos out or whatever. That's because I may be going through something where I'm not wanting to be in the public eye or wanting to interact with folks. So there are times where I don't I don't play well with others. I'll put it that way. I'm not rude, and I'm not mean, and I'm never going to be just ugly to people because that's not in my nature. But there are times where it's difficult to deal with people. And a lot of that has to do with having agoraphobia as well, which is crazy, I know, which is a slight fear of people or crowds, not people, but crowds. And so at any rate, that's a lot more information about myself that I probably have never given in this setting before. But I wanted to let you all know that there are times where I may fail and not come through, and that will be why, because there's and especially after taking on the cruise or coming up with the idea of the cruise that I'm absolutely in love with, I'm looking forward to, I'm super excited and pumped about. But that added one more thing to my plate when between memory issues and, not dealing with folks on a regular basis, everyday issues. And it's like, oh my God, this is something else. And I didn't really think that thing through too well. So some days I'm like really overwhelmed, and it's just like, okay, I can't do what other folks may expect me to be able to do. So that being the case, it's rough at times. It's rough. And Sheila Cushionberry, one thing for certain, she says she's a nurse and seen many with chronic pain that struggle with memory issues and or depression. So one diagnosis can affect multiple areas of a person's life. And it does. It does. Because the thing with fibromyalgia is it's not necessarily the same for everybody. But when you do find those few people who have the exact same situations going on that you do, whether it be not being able to sleep well at night, which sucks, and that adds to the memory thing, whether it be chronic pain or being in pain, whether it be memory issues, whether it be sensitivity to light and smells, there's a lot of things that go on to affect who I am every single day. And this here, coming to talk to you all, is one of the highlights of my week. I'm not going to lie to you about that, because I definitely enjoy being in front of the camera and letting you guys know the information and answer your questions, because I remember all too well what it was like having questions and no one to answer them. I remember that. It was a terrible feeling, and I don't ever want to go back there, even though I was kind of there just recently on something completely different. But I want to make sure that if I have the answer, I can give it to you, or if I don't have the answer, I can look it up and give you the correct answer. And that's my goal here on this channel, and help you guys work through being able to embroider without stress or aggravation, because I don't want stress or aggravation. So let me go back to this because I saw a question that I did not get to answer here. But I appreciate you guys for that 5 roughly minutes to let you all know that, because sometimes people can tend to think that when you don't pull through like you're supposed to, or when you don't do something like they expect that you should, and they're like, oh, I thought you were able to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and I can, and I have, and I will, especially if I say I will. But the thing is, there are still limitations there, and I'm still someone who's gonna have to let you know, okay, well, I didn't have such a good day, so we're gonna have to work with that. So thank you for letting me bend your ear. But that's also a message out there to folks that I did not meet their expectation in some way, to let you know I don't have, it's not an excuse, it's a reality and it's a fact. And I'm working diligently to make sure that I hit on all cylinders whenever I can. So that makes it difficult when I can't and someone is still counting on me. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're there for me, but I can't hit on those cylinders today. I'm just, it's not a good day. So that, and then being overwhelmed with all of the stuff I put on my plate is a fool. Because y'all, guess what I did? I told my daughter I wasn't gonna say anything. How about my crazy tale? Now I'm gonna tell you something. This is funny. This is off cuff and just personal stuff we're talking about. So I love pretty things. I love artwork, and I love a lot of stuff. Okay, so spring fever has hit me. Now the winter time is really rough for me, emotional wise. I suffer from seasonal depression sometimes. So in the winter time, it's rough. The days are short, and it's just not a lot of sunlight. So when spring finally does come around, I just soaking up all the sun that I can. So one of the things that got my goat this week, or got me excited, was gardening and putting out fresh plants. So I have some plants out on my porch, and super excited about that. I even painted some flower pots and stuff. So that turned out really cute, and I'm gonna share that with you guys as well. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it because it's on my phone and I'm not sharing the screen. But I don't know if you can see my flower pots that I made. One says, don't stop believing. One says, love grows here. And the other one says, plants are my buds. I thought that was super cute, and I had to replicate it. I saw it on Pinterest, and I took time to paint flower pots and do that for my pots. I also have another one that says, I think it says you grow girl or something like that. I was being silly with my flower pots because I like to joke and laugh and have a good time. So I did that this weekend, over the last week. But one of the things I did was I went to a local hardware store. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but it happens a lot, especially in our business. I went to a local hardware store, and I love wind chimes. I love wind chimes, y'all. Y'all don't understand the obsession I have with wind chimes. I only have three. I only have three. One is a little teeny, one is okay size, and the other one's an okay size because they're pricey. It's no doubt. And so one point in time I was trying to make a wind chime, but I gave up because I was like, okay, that's too much work. But I love wind chimes. So I went to a local hardware store, and they had glass wind chimes, y'all. These things are gorgeous. And let me see if, well, I turned it down, so I'm gonna turn it up so that you can hear these. Oh my god, I was like, I love them, right? So I was going to get these wind chimes. See, they're glass, and they're made from recyclable glass bottles that they melt in a kiln. I was on my head to replicate these stupid wind chimes, right? Because when I looked at the price of these wind chimes, and when I tell you that colorful one was $75, I was like, I'm not understanding $75 for a glass. I don't wait a minute, how is this okay, I get it. It's a art. And then I had to check myself, because I say that all the time. I do embroidery. When I give you the price of the embroidery and you balk and you're like, why? You're not doing the work. The embroidery machine is doing it all. Why are you costing that much? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, Eve, you wrong for that. So I had to come down off my high horse and say, okay, well, that's not in my budget right now. But I was determined that I wanted a glass wind chime, y'all. I mean, it made me sad because I wanted one. So my daughter, Rebecca, and I got in our head. She was like, Mom, you want one? We're going to make one. So we made a glass wind chime, y'all. I made one. Now, it wasn't like the circles. It was more like the straight one here, well, right here. So we went to Hobby Lobby and we got panes of glass. Actually, it was a scrap box with little teeny pieces of glass. And we made a glass wind chime. And this is how it turned out. So sometimes, oh, let me turn it this way. Maybe that looks better. Sometimes what you do is you take an idea and, you know, you go with it and you want to make it and make it work, right? Because I couldn't afford a $75 wind chime, even if I wanted to. But I thought it was cute to make one. So this week, there's a whole lot of work that I probably could have been doing. There's a lot of work that I could have been doing, a lot of things that I could have been preparing for, like the cruise, for instance, and putting classes together or whatever. But I needed something that was going to make me feel good in the sunshine. So we made a wind chime, and it turned out well beyond my expectations. No, it's not as eclectic as the glass recycled bottle circles that's melted in the kiln, because I don't have a kiln. I don't know anybody with one. How in the world was I gonna make that anyway? But I did make something pretty close. So one of these days I'll get me a kiln so that I can make the one with the circles. But at any rate, I got into all of that to say sometimes I do pile too much on my plate. And then I also use it, that also causes me problems as well, unfortunately. So at any rate, going back to what we were discussing before, I wanted to answer the questions that were in the chat. But that is something else that sometimes I'll get sidetracked because of my short attention span, especially if it's something that I want to do. And Marge Campbell, I see what you say. I'm trying to get to that. I'm also trying to get, okay, there we are. Oh, there was a question. That's right. That's what it was. Can I do a show on how to design and sew out and in the hoop project? I can, Miss Patty O. That sounds like a lot of fun. And that will have to go on the to-do list that hopefully I won't forget. So I'll have to write that down. You said, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, there's a lot of comments I didn't realize I missed. Let me see. Thanks for explaining all about the hoops. Okay, I said that. Maria, she says, Sheila, when she started embroidering, she had a 4x4, moved up to a 5x7 and a 6x10, and now have a 9x14. That's fun. 5x7 works well for monograms on towels. And the 4x4 worked for me for years and doing towels too. I mean, you just make it the biggest that you possibly can, and it actually works really well for towels. You'd be surprised. So I did have a lot of fun with my 4x4. Sullivan Homesteader says, learning that repositional hoop for your 770 was the best thing you did, and you love it. That 5x7 repositional hoop and the 4x4 repositional hoop is amazing. Debbie Bond says the 770 came with the small hoop, a 4x4, and a 5x7. Okay, so you get an extra of each one of those hoops if you purchase the repositional package. So that's a good thing. Leah says, with the tiny hoop, what else do you do with it besides socks? Okay, so I don't have a tiny hoop with mine. Or do I? I think I did have a tiny hoop. I got a tiny hoop. Oh, no. I have a tiny hoop with Blessing. That's who I have the small hoop with. But that could be any number of things other than other than socks. So you could do anything where you would need a design just that small, like maybe a teeny logo on a shirt, like you know how Polo has the little man on the horse and he's about yay big. So you could use it for that. Anything flat, but you only need just a little teeny small section done. That's what you would use it for. It doesn't necessarily have to be just socks. But I've never used it, so if that tells you anything, you won't probably use it much unless it's something that you specialize in doing. Sheila Cushionberry says you have the 800. I just want to make sure you order the right types of hoops because most sites only say comparable with the 770. Does the 770 have slots or pins? From what I understand, they're slots. Can someone who has the 800 confirm that? Because that's one I don't have. Marge Campbell says, I just found a full set of 4 for the simplicity, and it includes a set of 4 hoops for the 700, the 702, 750, 770, 780D, Innovis 1000, and Innovis 1200. Oh, Lord, and more. Innovis 1250D, PC 6500, PC 8200, PC 8500, PC 8500D, Baby Lock Allure, Allure Plus, More Allure, ESL, and Asante ESE2 Simplicity SB 7900E. Thank you for that mouthful of information, Ms. Campbell. Victor Freeman says, this was very informative. Both of my questions were answered. Thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me know that was helpful. Awesome. I always appreciate that, y'all. Thank you very much. Marge says, I'm going to see if I can find someone with just a single hoop from one of these machines. They could be getting rid of it. Sheila Chan says, even though the monogram is small, you use a large hoop. Been doing test runs of different fonts. Should the font be minimum 3 inches tall, 8x8 hoops and larger? Or are you talking about for a monogram? It looks like y'all are having a regular conversation, so I'm gonna stay out of that one. Little Miss Boutique, hello, my love. Thank you for joining us this evening. How are you today? I was going off the deep end, discussing personal things, so I hope you are still in here enjoying the show. Shayna says, hi, Miss E. What brand of thread do you recommend for normal, regular embroidery? The brand of thread? There's a couple of different brands out there. I personally use Madeira thread. It's my favorite. I absolutely love it. I haven't had any issues out of it, and they have a wide range of colors. And for me, because I have a business account set up with them, the thread is uber affordable. Okay. Now Will, if he's still in here with Carolina Thread Place, you can go to carolinathreadplace.com and you can purchase his thread, which is sulky thread, which is a very good quality thread as well. And if you use the code, I want to say it's Hoop Group. And I'm probably wrong again because of my memory. It's either Hoop Group or Baby's Booty, not sure which one. Then there's an additional percentage off, but you can easily just go there, order thread from him, and it's 20% off regular retail pricing. So he has excellent pricing on sulky thread, and he ships out fairly quickly as well. Heather Butler says, hello from Springdale, Arkansas. Thank you for the information. You're quite welcome, and I appreciate you letting me know that you are here today with us. We enjoy having you in here and speaking up and saying hi. That's always fun. Sheila Cushionberry, again, appreciate your information. Diane Parker says her BFF also has agoraphobia. It is not fun at all, especially when it's in the rough stage. Sheila Cushionberry says you rely on tons of post-it notes. I used to, but guess what? I would forget to look at the post-it note. So I kind of like got out of that. Putting notes in the phone doesn't work for me either. What else? It's a ton of stuff. That setting alarms on my phone. I would set the alarm to tell myself to take my medicine. The alarm would go off. I would forget like within 5 minutes and not take my medicine. Yeah, a lot of fun, y'all. It's been a struggle getting, and I'm a routine person. Okay, so if if anything throws me out of my routine, I will forget. All right. So I have to be up, and the first thing that I do is take my medicine, because if I don't, I'll forget. And that's a routine that I have to be in. So usually when I go on vacation, it throws me off of my routine, and so it takes me a couple of weeks to get back into it. So yeah, it's a lot. Marge Campbell says, know the feeling, Eve. I have health issues that cause you pain. Getting old is not for wimps. Girlfriend, say it again. IBS issues that turn out to be intolerance to gluten. I've heard that before too. The gluten thing is a fool. It's tearing up all kind of people. Noor Jahan PK, can I split a 5x7 design and sew it in a repositional hoop with a machine that has an embroidery field of 4x4 inches? Thanks. Okay. So, can you split a 5x7 design? You can. However, you have to make sure that one of your measurements on that design does not go over 4 inches. That's your drawback. So sometimes there are certain companies that will list something as a 5x7 design, which is why I like Embroidery Library so much. That's one of my favorite design websites, right? So they may have a design that's 3 inches by 6 inches. Okay, well, the 3x6 size design technically fits in a 5x7 hoop because it's over 4 inches, the 7-inch way. The 6-inch way. I said 3x6. So you would opt to go with the 5x7 hoop to make it fit. But if you have a repositional hoop with the 4x4, the 3 inches is not over the 4 inches. So you can do the 3-inch by 6-inch. But if it's a 5-inch by 6-inch, you're not going to be able to do it on that 4x4 hoop because it's over 4 inches. All right. So your embroidery machine, that 4x4, is a 4-inch machine for a reason. All right. And that's why, as I told you, this 4 inches here is not going to change. Okay. So if you need to make a design fit this 4x4 repositional hoop field, you are restricted by 4 inches one of these ways. So either you're going to have to do your design 4x4 this way, or you're going to have to do it 4x4 that way. So say, for instance, if you wanted to do 2 animals, but you didn't want them to be side by side, you wanted the lion to stand on the head of the piggy. Okay, you can still do it, but you got to turn it this way. All right, but you still are within your 4 inches. So even though this is 4 by a full 7.5, you can make it work because you're still within the 3 inches. I mean, the 4 inches this way. All right, I hope that makes sense. And that's where a lot of folks get kind of confused, because if you look at some of the listings out there for this 4x4 repositional hoop, some of the listings actually say this is a 5x7 hoop. That's not correct, because your embroidery field is not going to be 5x7. Now the size of the hoop might be 5x7. So this from here to here might be 5 inches, but this area here to here where your embroidery field is only going to be 4 inches. I don't care how you slice that piece of the pie. Okay. You cannot force that. You cannot force the machine to go larger than 4 inches one of those ways. All right. And I hope that makes sense. Victor says, when will you be back on? Are you asking me when will I be back on? I'm on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is New York time if you're not from the area. So as long as everything goes well during the week and we don't have anything that comes up, 8 p.m. on Sundays, I'm right here. Pearl Lucas, you're absolutely wonderful. And to me, it doesn't show in your personality, so hang in there. We love you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, because some days I'm just not feeling it. Marge Campbell says, when customers come into our shop, sometimes I say, hey, hi, sorry, and let hubby do the rest. He has thrift shop. I stick to the quilting embroidery area. Can make me seem rude or standoffish. I'm not. I just hurt all over. And sometimes it's important to know what somebody is going through so that you can relate. All right. That, to me, that's a huge thing. Okay. So I'm one of those type of people where if I meet you and you're having a bad day and you come off as rude, in the back of my mind, especially if I'm in an okay place and I'm in a good mood, my first thing is, oh man, she must have had a rough morning. Hopefully everything's okay at home. You know, maybe the customer before me was just a jerk or something like that. I'm trying to reason on what could be the issue of why you would treat me in such a way when you don't even know who I am. So that's my type personality, but there are days where sometimes that doesn't work. And I'm just like, okay, you treat me rude for no reason whatsoever. Let me leave before it turns ugly. And so sometimes I'll have to, you know, excuse myself. But at any rate, Ebony Holmes. Y'all, I just went all kind of deep dark on the show today. I appreciate every day that you spend teaching us and sharing yourself with us, even when it's difficult. I know exactly what you mean. I have had lupus and fibromyalgia since I was 21, so I understand. Oh man, lupus is a rough thing. Lupus is a rough thing. I thought fibromyalgia was bad. Lupus is rough. So my prayers with you, my dear. I know, unfortunately, all too much about lupus. I don't have it, but that's very rough. So prayers with you constantly. Patricia Thomas says, what is the best hoops for the SE625? So your better hoops are going to be your 4x4 hoop. I mean, that's your best friend. That's what you got. If you want to go bigger than 4x4, you can try the repositional hoop and see how it works for you. If you need to add to your size, say if the 4x4 isn't enough, then you do have the repositional hoop, but that's it. You really don't have very many other options available to you, with the exception of that smaller 2x2, I think is what it is, size hoop. So those are your options for the SE625. Deborah Little, oh good, it passed over you. Good. I am so happy to hear that. Glenn F, thank you. I appreciate that. Phyllis Mitchell. Hi, Phyllis Mitchell. How are you? She says, hi, Eve. I'm late, but I guess I'll watch it again. Love you. You are so real. Thank you very much. And Diane Parker, my dog, is always barking. Oh my God. And a little bit funny, for some reason, I think a neighbor, used to be neighbor, half a street over, if that's such a thing, on a cross street, they moved and they had, I believe, chickens. Okay, because they, at one point we had a group of chickens that would roam and what they call them, free range. They were free range city neighborhood chickens, and they would just go through neighbors' yards and as a group, babies and everything. Well, those people moved, and so we don't see the chickens anymore, but one chicken is left. So I'm assuming they left their chicken behind. So the chicken has become a 1, 2, 3, 4 neighbor chicken. She roams, and you know, so when she comes into the yard, sometimes my dogs bark at her, so that could be the reason she's barking. So and if I make the mistake, like when I'm waiting on customers to come to my shop, I'll leave my, because this is a garage with an apartment back here at the back, so I leave the big door open so that when they come, they can just come right into the shop or walk right into the shop. And if I leave it open long enough, chicken comes in. And yeah, I've taken to naming her Rooster Roo. It's just, you know, Rooster R-U, Rooster Roo. And she'll come into my shop, and I'm sitting here and I'll hear her clucking, and I'm like, what? And she come, I'm like, no, you're not coming in here. Number one, it's carpet, so go back out. And she'll jump on my cutting table. Okay, look, you got to get out. You misbehaving, get out the shop. And I have to shut the door and shut her out. But I don't mind her, because from what I understand, chickens eat insects, and so I'm not a big fan of insects at all. So she's free to mile about the yard and whatnot, but the studio is an off limits thing. So that could be Miss Parker, what my dog was barking at. Bonnie says, we love you, Eve, and you need to know we are all human. Yes, we all are. And we all have something going on in our lives, and we do not always run at 100% love you. And I appreciate that support, because one thing's for certain, you're correct. Everyone has something going on. You ain't lying. And I get folks writing me all the time, sharing their personal stories, and I love it. And, you know, it helps me relate to folks, and I appreciate that. And I can't wait to meet a lot of y'all on this cruise. It's going to be amazing. Oh, I'm so excited about that. River City Creative says, awesome. I appreciate that. Paula Thomas says, awesome. First time. Hello. Well, hello to you as well, Paula Thomas. Thank you for joining us and saying hi for the first time. Weather, Sheila Cushionberry says, can also affect chronic pain dealing with major storms here in Texas. So not having a good day. No fibromyalgia, but psoriatic arthritis and numerous back surgeries. Oh my goodness. I hope you feel better. And yes, weather does have a huge effect on it, because when the weather is unstable, a lot of times I'll have a flare. Deborah Little says, you're such a blessing to all of us. Thank you. I don't know for sure about all that. Such a great personality. Can't wait to meet you on the cruise. Oh, I can't wait. River City says the wind chimes keep her husband woke, and you love wind chimes too. I am glad you do. It's fun. I love wind chimes. It's like the best of stuff. Stephanie Jones says, Eve, you know that God's got you, and I thank God for you, and thank you. I do firmly believe that, quite deeply, actually. Debbie D says, your daughter suffers from a pituitary tumor, and memory loss is one of her biggest side effects. So I fully understand. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, the memory issues is rough, especially when you are too young to have that type of a condition. It sucks. And people are like, you too young. Okay, tell that to my mom. Sheila Cushionberry says, that's how I got into jewelry making. Laughing out loud. Kept seeing pieces and saying, I can make it much cheaper. Yeah, a lot of us do it. And that's kind of how I got into embroidery in a way. Kind of sort of what made me really get into it. Because I'm like, that's cute. I can do that too. I got an embroidery machine. And so I got into it a little deeper than what I was originally. Ross Al Ghul, hi, I'm new to embroidery and your videos have been such a blessing. Thank you so much. Watching from the Bahamas, which we will be there. Ross Al Ghul, am I saying that correctly? We have a cruise, a crafting cruise set to sail to the Bahamas in May of 2020, next year. So please keep in touch with us here on this channel, because we will be down in your neck of the woods soon. James Lincoln says, you have the SE 1900, just got some hoops online and having trouble with them along with tension issues. Now, James Lincoln, have you perchance watched the tension issues video? Because that could help you resolve some of your tension issues, possibly. And the hoops that you got online, are you having issues with the hoops that came with the machine as well? Okay, so if you're not having issues with the hoops that you got online, but you are with the ones, if you're not having issues with the ones you got with the machine, but you are having issues with the hoops that you got online, then yes, that could indicate an issue with your hoops. So definitely keep that in mind, but try the tension issues video to see if that helps you work out whether it's truly tension issues, or it could be maybe the machine is threaded incorrectly, or maybe your bobbin is incorrectly. There's a whole list of things that you would want to check for while trying to adjust your tension. Okay, please double check all of that stuff. Barbara Nance says, you have one also and you love it. I am hoping you're talking about the glass wind chime, because I absolutely love my glass wind chime. And that's around about the time we stopped. Thank you, Ronnie's Raps, for answering the question. Maria Cullen says, you had a phone call, but now you have to go back and read what I've been talking about. I know going back and reading this chat is a trip, because sometimes y'all get and I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting lost and trying to figure out where I was at. Does the repositional hoop, Ross Agul says, does the repositional hoop work with applique on the 4x4 machine, and how big can you create a design with it? Now that's a loaded question. Okay, so applique can work on the 4x4 machine with the repositional hoop if your applique fits within a 4x4 section. All right, again, it can work with the repositional hoop if it fits in a 4x4 section. Now, what do I mean? What I mean is this. So this is your repositional hoop again, right here. Here's your repositional hoop area. So as long as your applique, so let's say the teddy bear's shirt is applique. All right, so her little shirt is going to be fabric. So she fits in that 4x4 section. So you can do applique there. And if you wanted to add the piggy and do applique for her shirt, she's a completely separate design that you're going to move your hoop. And this design fits in a 4x4 section. And she's a separate design, and you can applique her shirt by moving the hoop in the 4x4 repositional hoop, and you can applique her shirt as well. So yes, in that instance, this will work. But say for instance, your design was much larger. Say for instance, oh well, actually, let's go back. So let's say you had a name, you spelled out a name here, and you appliqued all of the letters in the name, and it fits here. It's not bigger than 4 inches this way, and it's not bigger than 6.5 roughly inches this way. So you can applique each letter as long as it fits and it's cut properly, you know, arranged properly where you can move the hoop and have everything lined up. You can applique that, all right, because each letter is separate. The problem that you're going to come up against is there an applique design that's larger, one solid design? So say for instance you had a rectangle that was 5 inches long, all right, and 2 inches high. Okay, so you have the right height, you can applique that, but your width, your 5 inches is too long. It's outside of a 4x4 area, and you can't cut an applique and it work. Okay, well, you probably could, but that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of explaining. But generically, no, you wouldn't be able to cut that and be able to do it in a repositional hoop. It's not impossible. It is not impossible, but it will take some work to be able to get that done, and explaining on how to work that out. And is it worth it? In my opinion, no. But based on whatever project it is that you're trying to accomplish, it might be something that you absolutely want to do. And unfortunately, as I mentioned before, that's a bit of a, not a stretch, that's the wrong word, but that's something you would have to work really hard to get it to work out. All right. Diane Parker says you gotta head to work at midnight, so you're gonna take a quick 30-minute nap. You have a good night, and I hope you are able to watch the rest of this episode later. Tanya Powell says, hello, I love Sew It Pro. Your videos are very helpful. Thank you. Thinking about getting Sew Art. Do you have videos for Sew Art? I do not, because Clever Dog Designs, I've watched her videos and absolutely love them. So I refer people to watch her videos with Clever Dog Designs. She has excellent videos. She also has a Facebook group, which helps with Sew Art, because what I've found is I have delved into teaching so much and doing so many things that I get overwhelmed with the videos that I'm already trying to put out, and don't get to the videos that I need to put out because I'm doing so much other stuff like making wind chimes and painting flower pots. So no, I don't have videos on Sew Art, and I don't intend to, because I already do so much. So no ma'am, but do please check out Clever Dog Designs. Okay. Brenda Rainwater says, good evening. I have fallen in love with learning all that you show and teach. Thank you for being the wonderful Eve we know and love. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because it is very difficult being Eve sometimes. Being Eve sometimes. Dr. Threads, hey love, how are you? Good evening all. Finally getting spring weather in Chicago. Dr. Threads, I did get your message. And mentally, I've been responding and haven't officially responded. So I will be getting in touch with you shortly. Again, if you're able to go back and watch the video, I explain all of that here at the end of the video of things that I've been dealing with. So, Dr. Threads, thank you for your information. Always look forward to your information. Maria says, Sheila, you can use a smaller design and a larger hoop, but not the reverse. I love it. I love it. And thank you for your prayers. Dr. Thread says your hubby is home. I am more than happy to hear that. Please give him a gentle hug from all of us and let him know that I said hello. Maria says you are giving a fantastic lesson. Thank you. I appreciate that. Working really hard to make sure that this is coming across correctly. Contessa says, I understand your pain. I have lupus and fibromyalgia and I take it day by day. So my prayers are with all who suffer with painful illnesses. Yes, it's rough. And I definitely can empathize with anyone who has a painful chronic illness, actually. Marge Campbell, you have fun with those dishes. No, ma'am, not trying to feel that right now. Maria Arnica, yay, your first time. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate you joining us here at the Hoop Group. And hopefully you will enjoy the rest of this video. I just realized I'm going on 2 hours and didn't realize it. So we will be wrapping this up here shortly. Paula Thomas says, does the PE800 have a larger hoop other than a 5x7? I believe so. Okay, so there is a repositional hoop available on Amazon for the 5x7 brother machine. The thing is whether or not the new PE800 has changed the hoop and how it attaches to the new PE800. That I don't know. All right, so I don't have the PE800. So I personally cannot answer that question. And you definitely want to look at the repositional hoop because I looked at the link to the one that I posted in the description below and it does not mention the 800. So until I can actually lay eyes on the 800 and see how the hoop attaches, I can't answer that question. If there's anyone in here that does have, okay, Sheila Cushionberry, she says the PE800 largest hoop is 5x7 unless you go to a repositional hoop. So obviously the repositional hoop will work. Darlene Buckland. Hey, Darlene Buckland. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Baby's Booty channel. And if you're in here for the first time or joining us late, please give us a thumbs up and hit the like button for me. I greatly appreciate it. That lets me know I'm doing my job here. Also, that lets YouTube know that the videos are being enjoyed. So thank you very much in advance for doing that. I really appreciate it. Sharmina Stewart says, hello, even everyone just got on. Been doing t-shirts all day for a cheer team. Girl, I have been there. I was there Friday. She says, didn't want to be swamped, so you will rewatch. Well, thank you for coming in and letting us know. Deborah Bemlander says she made it. We'll reread all tomorrow. I understand. It is all right. Patty O says, what part of Chicago to Dr. Thread? So I don't know if Dr. Thread saw that or not, but Miss Patty O wants to know what part of Chicago. Tanya Powell says, totally understand. Thanks for the information about Sew Art. You're welcome. Also got my first embroidery order last week. Yay! Woo! That's awesome. You know what? We need to do a little bell ring for that. Congratulations! That is good news when you get your first order, girl. That make you feel good. I hope you got your money up front. Learn from the Baby's Booty, ma'am. Get your money up front. I'm trying to tell y'all. Woo! That's rough. When you do all of that work and then they skip out and don't pay, get that money up front, girl. So please do that. Dr. Thread says embroidery and sewing is such a healing. It is, y'all. It is. I know it firsthand. I know it. I know it. I know it. I lived it. I still live it. And I tell anyone, join in with the craft. It actually, it can be any kind of craft. Sewing and embroidery is a good one. A lot of folks just find solace in sitting in front of that embroidery machine. All right. And I hear it a lot. I get a lot of testimonials about that. So if you are ever down, just sit down and craft you something. And it does help make the time pass. You can't focus on the pain. You can't focus on the negativity, because you're creating something beautiful and creating something fun. And it does definitely help. Definitely helps. Contessa says the one on Amazon will work. I have it. All right, so that answers the question. Thank you. I appreciate that. So the repositional hoop that I do have listed in the description below, if you would like to use the affiliate link I have below, I appreciate it. You can use that with the PE800. Joanna Smith says, good night, Eve. I enjoyed you, but it's lightning, but no rain yet. Have a blessed night. See you next Sunday. Yes, please be careful. We don't play with them electric storms. All right, so I'm not mad. Paula Thomas says, thank you. Love your lessons, Miss Eve. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And please, if you ever have questions, please email them. Or if you're a part of the hoop group or not part of the hoop group, you can join the hoop group and you're welcome to post questions there as well. So we have a lot of experienced folks who help me answer questions in that group too. Tanya Powell says she got her money up front. High five, girl. Woo! High five on that, because I'm trying to tell you, that is rough. Oh, child. You talking about somebody was mad? It's a fool. Maria says, thank you so much for your videos and sharing your talents. Thank you for joining in and watching and learning, and for letting me know that you have been helped, ma'am. Please, and please pass that along, because sometimes folks will keep knowledge to themselves, but embroidery is an art that I really think should be passed to the next generation. And let's see if we can't find some young folks that we can encourage to get out there and embroider as well. So this week, thank you all so very much for joining in and watching us this evening. It was a 2-hour show, unintentional. Did go into a little bit of personal information, but I feel like sometimes you need to know what's going on around here so that you can understand that you're not alone when you're dealing with stresses and problems and things of that magnitude, or if you're just having an off day. We totally get it around here. We empathize with you and we don't judge at all around here. So definitely have support over here in my corner from me to you. So, and I definitely want to thank you all for the support back to me. So thank you all for being here this evening. Hopefully we've answered all of your questions about enlarging your 4x4 embroidery area and how you can do it. The link is in the description below for that repositional hoop if you wish to try it. The 5x7 repositional hoop does work with the PE800, so give that a shot. And if you have the 4x4 embroidery machine, that is listed below. Just the repositional hoop, and also the package where you get additional hoops that you can use to stage with. So that is a good buy as well. So definitely check that out. We appreciate you clicking those affiliate links. You don't have to, but they are a huge help to the channel, and we always want to say thank you for that. So you all, I hope you have an excellent rest of your week. Please be sure, if you're in the hoop group, share your projects that you're working on this week. We'll definitely need that encouragement. Find some happy springtime stuff to embroider, y'all, because it's just been beautiful lately and help lift our spirits. So until the next time we see you all, we definitely want you to have happy embroidering. So until the next time we see you next week, have an excellent night, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.